Nous multiplions les formations innovantes à distance, leur permettant de maîtriser les technologies pédagogiques tout en restant proches de leur réalité sur le terrain. Ainsi, malgré les contraintes énergétiques et le contexte sécuritaire et climatique complexe auquel nous faisons face, nous progressons sensiblement vers une éducation numérique de qualité pour tous. Mesdames et messieurs, notre engagement dans l'apprentissage numérique ne se limite pas à l'enseignement en classe. Il s'étend aussi à la modernisation complète de notre administration scolaire pour en renforcer la transparence, l'efficacité et l'accessibilité. Nous introduisons des systèmes avancés pour la gestion des données scolaires, telles que les inscriptions, la gestion du personnel enseignant et administratif, ainsi que la certification des diplômes. Ces innovations permettent de réduire sensiblement la fraude administrative et d'améliorer considérablement l'efficacité de nos processus éducatifs. Nous développons également un portail éducatif interactif unique, accessible à tous les acteurs de l'éducation en RDC. Cette plateforme centralisée permettra aux élèves, aux parents et aux enseignants et aux administrateurs d'accéder facilement aux ressources pédagogiques, de réaliser des démarches administratives en ligne et de consulter directement les résultats scolaires. Ce portail favorisera ainsi l'autonomie des utilisateurs et contribuera à démocratiser l'accès aux informations éducatives essentielles. Ces outils numériques, en améliorant significativement notre gouvernance éducative, permettent d'instaurer une meilleure redevabilité au sein de notre système éducatif. Notre vision à moyen terme est claire. Nous avons placé les transformations numériques au cœur de notre plan quinquennal 2024-2029. Nos objectifs stratégiques visent à généraliser l'accès à l'apprentissage numérique en réduisant la fracture numérique par des infrastructures adaptées et une modernisation administrative complète d'ici 2029. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, les défis que nous avons relevés et les réalisations que nous avons partagées aujourd'hui témoignent de notre détermination à faire de l'éducation numérique un levier de développement durable pour tous nos enfants. Pour poursuivre sur cette voie prometteuse, il est essentiel de renforcer les échanges et les collaborations. Nous invitons donc tous nos partenaires, tant nationaux qu'internationaux, à poursuivre ensemble cette dynamique positive d'échange d'expériences, de connaissances et de bonnes pratiques. Ensemble, nous pouvons enrichir nos stratégies respectives, mutualiser nos innovations et amplifier l'impact de l'apprentissage numérique, particulièrement pour les élèves vivant dans les contextes les plus difficiles. Construisons, grâce au numérique, des sociétés plus inclusives, plus équitables et mieux préparées à l'avenir. Je vous remercie.
Sure. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, Your Excellency. Thank you especially for shedding light on the very pressing realities, the challenges in your country, and the strategic approaches that your ministry is taking to navigate very difficult learning environments. We deeply value the mention that you made of the role of distance and remote learning, as well as the impact of tools like chat platforms in supporting teacher development. And I'm sure that many of the colleagues who will be speaking today can relate to some of the examples that you've raised. So thank you very much for that. I think it raises a very key question to all of us to consider as participants, particularly for those of us who are working in very similar challenging regions. So the question really is, what stories and insights can we all share on the kinds of strategies that maintain learning continuity under these very tough, trying conditions? And that is an open question to all of you. I've also noticed that there are a few questions in the chat, and I will relate some of them as we proceed with today's proceedings. Thank you again, Minister Malu. Next, we welcome Her Excellency, Ms. Huda Al-Hashimi, who is the Deputy Minister of Cabinet Affairs for Strategic Affairs from the United Arab Emirates. As indicated by ADG Giannini, the UAE has been instrumental in establishing this day as the International Day for Digital Learning. We thank Her Excellency and the UAE government for this initiative. Welcome, Minister. The floor is yours.
Honored guests, esteemed delegates, educators, policymakers, and dedicated partners in learning, it is a privilege to join you today on this important occasion as we mark the International Day for Digital Learning. We gather not only to celebrate progress, but to reflect on the realities of digital learning in low-resourced contexts, a conversation that is long overdue. For millions of learners around the world, access to technology remains a distant promise, rather than an everyday tool for education. In some regions, a single device must serve an entire classroom, while in others, unstable connectivity turns lessons into moments of frustration rather than empowerment. The challenge extends beyond devices or connectivity. It encompasses the proliferation of sustainable, practical, and inclusive solutions that truly enable learning. Today, we must ask not just how we scale digital education, but more critically, how we shape it to serve those who need it most. We in the UAE strongly believe in the power of digital education. As His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum has stated, digital education is the future of education and the education of the future. Guided by this vision, we launched several initiatives to support learning across the globe, including the Digital School, which has now reached over 500,000 beneficiaries in 20 countries, offering accredited digital learning pathways that assist underserved communities, refugees, and displaced learners. We have trained more than 2,500 digital teachers and currently offer content in Arabic, English, French, and Spanish to enhance access to quality education. None of this could have been achieved without harnessing the power of digital learning to bridge gaps, connect minds, and open doors of opportunity. But digital learning is not just about technology. It is about the quiet revolutions happening in the classrooms, refugee camps, and remote villages, where students and teachers alike are turning limitations into opportunities. In many low-resource environments, we have seen how teachers, students, and policymakers are creatively leveraging digital schools to overcome learning barriers. Even in the most challenging conditions, these small yet meaningful innovations, from low-bandwidth solutions to community-driven digital learning hubs, are often overlooked, yet they hold the key to real educational equity. To truly advance digital learning for all, we must focus on 4 key areas. 1. Policy leadership, prioritizing digital equity, local adaptation, and infrastructure development. 2. Educator empowerment, ensuring teachers are equipped, confident, and supported. 3. Technology that is built for the realities of low-resource environments. And 4. Impactful partnerships that bring together governments, private sector leaders, and civil society to drive scalable and sustainable digital learning solutions, leaving no child behind. Yet, to accelerate access to education, we must push beyond conventional approaches and rethink the way digital education is designed, delivered, and sustained. We call upon the global community to invest further in developing solutions for digital learning in low-resourced contexts. Advancements in AI, adaptive learning, connectivity, and offline solutions, digital credentialing, and emerging technologies offer unprecedented opportunities to revolutionize education. However, these innovations must be inclusive, accessible, and designed for impact where they need it most. On this International Day for Digital Learning, let us reaffirm our commitment to scalable, inclusive, and practical solutions that make a real difference. Let us work together to ensure that digital learning serves as a bridge to equity, opportunity, and a brighter future for all. When children in a remote village gain access to knowledge through digital learning, they are not just receiving lessons, they are receiving a passport to a world beyond their own, where dreams are not limited by geography but expanded by opportunity. Indeed, these moments are not just acts of teaching, they are acts of defiance against inequity. They are bold declarations of faith in a better future. Let us make a promise today, a promise that digital learning will not remain a privilege of the few, but a right for all. Because when we connect every learner, we do more than educate, we elevate, we empower, and we change the course of history. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency, especially for your guidance on the 4 key areas of focus that you highlighted. and also for emphasizing that digital learning is not just about the technologies. We were particularly appreciative of your point about the quiet revolutions happening in classrooms, in refugee camps, and in rural villages that in fact turn limitations into opportunities. We particularly appreciate that point, and it raises a major question for us to reflect on, and that is, how can we better recognize, support, and amplify these quiet yet transformative pedagogical shifts that do happen in classrooms, in refugee camps, and in rural villages? And it is a question for all of us participating in this forum today to ponder. So thank you very much. I've also noted two very interesting questions in the chat platform, so thank you to the colleagues who've raised those. The first being, how do we ensure access to quality digital learning content for all students? It's a very critical question, and I'm hoping that some of the speakers today will address that particular question. And the second asks about the impact towards moral values and sustainability of culture preservation. Also a very important question, because we know that with emerging technologies, the preservation of cultures and issues of ethics are increasingly becoming critical issues to address. And I'm also hoping that we can entertain that particular question in the conversation today. Thank you for raising those. So that concludes this segment of our celebration this afternoon, this morning, and this evening for some of you. Next, we are inviting two visionary leaders in digital learning to step onto the virtual platform. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Natalie Lau. She is the Executive Director of App Inventor Foundation, which is an affiliate of the MIT. And we are also joined by Ms. Verna Laubehari, who is the Executive Director of the EdTech Hub. So what we will be doing is engage in a fireside chat, a sort of formal, semi-formal conversation about co-creating technologies that honor different and diverse ways of knowing and that can support equitable learning experiences. And so to kick us off, I'm going to ask you, Natalie, to please tell us about the kind of work that you do at App Inventor Foundation and how it focuses on co-creating technologies with children and youth, and how it unleashes their imagination and creativity. We are particularly interested in how you work in contexts where children and youth face significant social, economic, and cultural constraints. So if you could tell us more, please. Over to you, Natalie.
Yes, so thank you for having me. It's really an honor to be here and to speak about such an important topic for the International Day for Digital Learning. So at our nonprofit, App Inventor Foundation, our mission is to empower anyone of any background and any age to create technologies that can improve their lives and uplift their communities. And a lot of our focus is on the creation of mobile apps, since smartphones are the most accessible digital modality in the world, especially for under-resourced populations. And in the past year, we've worked with over 11 million learners from all over the world. Half of them come from developing or LMIC countries. And the App Inventor project itself has been around for over 15 years. And as you mentioned, Trifika, we come from MIT. So historically, our education philosophy from MIT stems from constructionism. We believe that students learn best when they're actively engaged in creating something that has personal meaning to them. And at our research lab, we do research in a concept called computational action. So we find that for students who are under-resourced, underrepresented in STEM due to their social, economic, or cultural situations, they learn better when they're given opportunities to use what they're learning to create tools that have direct impact in